Okay, awesome. So, hey everyone, if you are on Facebook, I'm in the other room, so I actually can't see the comments. And if you are tuning in because you actually saw the title of this, and I just realized that I actually didn't share it to our group. If you saw the title and you are a woman, or you live with a woman who has horrible, horrible, horrible PMS, and then horrible symptoms while she's actually on her cycle, if that caught your attention, definitely share this with her, because my life has completely changed from July 16th until now. Today is my second day of my third menstrual cycle since modulating my serotonin. And I got to tell you, not having raging PMS, the insatiable appetite, the body aches, the cramps, the other things that go along with it that I'm like trying not to be so graphic about, you definitely have to share this with her, okay? Because it's just so beyond helpful. It's mind-blowing. So we are here to talk about serotonin. Serotonin is not just the happy hormone, and we're going to get into that. So if you are joining the Zoom live, make sure that you are muted and your video is off. The image on your screen is what it looks like on your desktop, and then the image is what it looks like on your screen right now of what it would be on your phone or your smart device. So serotonin influences many systems in the body, up to 14. And many of us suffer from serotonin that's either too high or too low. So I want you to imagine for a second how good it would be if you had a positive self-image of yourself. How good it would be if you got your athleticism back. I want you to imagine how good it would be that you could eat whatever you want without indigestion and without irritable bowels. Imagine how good it would be if you didn't have as many behavioral problems with your children. And then imagine how good it would be if you had increased libido, sexual function, and performance. Oh, yeah. All right, so what is serotonin? Serotonin is a neurotransmitter produced in the brain that helps determine many of the most important functions of the body. Guess what? It's not just in the brain, it's everywhere. And what it does is, well, some of the things that serotonin does, we're not going to get into everything today. It's responsible for body and brain signaling. Digestion, 95% of serotonin receptors are in the bowels. That's why they say do a gut check. And organ development. And since serotonin signals resource availability, it's not surprising that it affects organ development. And I'm going to get into it right here because you know I love perception. So one of the pathways of serotonin is perception of scarcity or abundance, lack or abundance, love or fear. And for our animal friends, that just means as far as resource availability goes, of scarcity or abundance, it means, is there grass to eat? Do I have water? Is there another animal to eat? In us, because we're humans and we have a prefrontal cortex, it has to do with our mindset, negative mindset, happy mindset, victim mindset, or growth mindset. Victim mindset means that things happen to you. And then growth mindset says that things happen for you, that you get to learn. Now, as scarcity and abundance goes for resource availability within your body, that means, does your body know there's actually enough resources to rebuild itself? Because guess what? You have a new digestive system every 3 days. You have a bunch of cells that die and a bunch of cells that rejuvenate themselves. So if we look at the aging process and we look at ease and dis-ease, health and not health, we can see how our body's health is reliant on, does it have resources to rebuild itself? And serotonin is actually going to help with that. So it also helps with your bone density, and then as well as your cardiovascular growth factor, so your healing. Looks like I had a double slide. Okay, so you might be wondering, can you use serotonin to change your life? And abso-freaking-lutely, if you have been following my page or my podcast for any amount of time, you know that I got out of chronic neck pain after 2 weeks of doing Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditation, from breaking the habit of being yourself. And essentially what you do is you change your personality, because your personality is what is driving what hormones are being secreted from your brain. If you're secreting growth hormones or you're secreting, if our cells are living in stress hormones, our body will go into dis-ease. For me, chronic pain. PMS, painful periods. When we are secreting happy hormones like growth hormones, we glow. It's the honeymoon effect. It's like when you first fall in love. And when you're in that state of first falling in love, everybody can remember that, right? You don't need as much sleep. You're way happier. The bills don't bother you because you're secreting all these fabulous hormones. So yes, you change your serotonin. You can modulate your serotonin, change your body, change your personality by meditating. Absolutely. It works for hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people across the world for centuries and centuries and centuries. You can also modulate your serotonin by changing your diet. So totally clean it up, go fully organic, clean eating, as well as exercise, ideally 3 times a week, right? And then, of course, you can use supplements. And usually when you do single supplements, you actually have to do a combo and they get to be pretty pricey, and you don't really have any guarantees, right? And then also melatonin. So melatonin and serotonin are best friends. So when you modulate melatonin, you're actually helping out serotonin. The problem with taking a melatonin supplement is that your body will become dependent on it. So you have to go 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And if you do use it forever, you're going to have a really hard time coming off of it. So you want to be super careful with that. Another way to not modulate serotonin, but create more of it if you have low serotonin, is to use SSRIs, your antidepressants. However, the SSRIs are not the best option because medication isn't perfect. And so the doctors don't know exactly how much to keep giving their patients. So what happens with the SSRIs is it elevates your serotonin and you may feel better like for the first couple of weeks or maybe even the first couple of months. And then all of a sudden that serotonin just starts building up in your brain. It has nowhere to go. It can't metabolize. So then what happens is we get something that's called serotonin syndrome. And serotonin syndrome has high body temperature, agitation, increased reflexes, tremor, sweating, dilated pupils, and diarrhea. Here's the thing with serotonin syndrome that not a lot of people know. This is high serotonin. And one of the biggest indicators of high serotonin in somebody's body is fibromyalgia, nerves. So you could actually start becoming in pain from going on antidepressants. And what happens when you start to feel worse when you're in the serotonin syndrome category? You go back to your doctor and you're like, Doc, I feel even worse. What am I going to do? And they'll up your dose, they'll give you a cocktail, or they'll change your dose. Now, I want you to think about this for a second, especially if you're struggling with this issue right now of trying to figure out what medication is right for you. If there are 14 pathways in the body that serotonin is responsible for, and you are taking an artificial, a synthetic medication that is creating more serotonin in your body, well, what's happening to those 14 pathways? They're all like on overdrive. And so there's all these other symptoms that are going to come from taking antidepressants. So antidepressants are sold to be a fix, but they're really not. And guess what? Another side effect of high serotonin is extreme agitation and bodily harm to self and others. This is why on the commercials for antidepressants, it says that suicide is a side effect. This is the reason why it's high serotonin. There is no stop on these medications to stop producing serotonin in the person's body. So you might be wondering if there's a safe and easy solution. So we obviously know you can do meditation, you can change your lifestyle, you can change your food, but that's not necessarily easy, right? So you can actually use a safe and easy product. And this is actually, I hate the word product, I got to tell you, because this is water and early growth monocots. And so what this is are extremely, extremely powerful antioxidants, polyphenols that act as adaptogenic herbs. So adaptogenic herbs adapt with your body. People get varying results at varying times, just of adaptogenic herbs in general. So with these polyphenols, they're actually patented. We're going to get into this a little bit more, but I just want you to understand that it looks like a product, but it's actually micronized little teeny tiny baby plants. So there are 6 utility patents on these, which are the hardest thing to get. And the thing about a utility patent is that it's actually proven of what it is going to resolve in the body, which is a big frickin' deal, right? It's proven to work. So there was a double-blind study under the Yale protocol, and what they found is the people that didn't have the supplement in their body, the polyphenols in their body, they had 0 results. Everyone else, check this out. 8% less tension, 15% less depression, 25% less irritability, 33% faster falling asleep, 50% improved sleep efficiency, 40% improved sleep quality, 30% fewer wakes at night, and 24% more time in REM sleep. Hallelujah, REM sleep is the dream sleep. So it's super effective. Sleep disorders, mood disorders, fibro, mild depression, hyperglycemia, anxiety, arthritis, weight loss, appetite suppression, substance addiction, sexual desire, arousal, and performance. We have to point some things out here. So one of the patents is for depression. It actually says depression in the patent, which I'm sure you're familiar that non-medications usually don't use medical lingo, but it's proven to help with depression. Hallelujah. Substance addiction. This is also used as an adjunct therapy for substance addiction. Now, I want you to look at appetite suppression and substance addiction and understand that the part of your brain that is responsible for these insatiable cravings has a relationship with serotonin. So guess what? This girl right here who usually wants to eat the whole house when she's PMSing, I don't have that anymore. This is my 3rd cycle and it is blowing my mind. I don't have a scale where I live right now. And I know I'm weighing less, so I don't know how much this appetite suppression has worked for me on a scale, but definitely the clothes are fitting better and I'm feeling better. Sexual desire, arousal, and performance. This is the really cool thing because guess what? In 1999, Dr. Don Copeland bought the rights to the research of these polyphenols because he saw this medical research that showed these field mice that were reproducing only during a certain time of year. So the research showed that the reason why they were reproducing during this certain time of year is because they had increased libido. And it was about what they were eating, these early growth monocots. So in the early growth stage of these monocots, like grasses and palm trees and banana trees, the early growth has a whole bunch of antioxidants to act as a natural pest repellent so that these little tiny baby plants can actually become adult plants. So in this early stage of growth, it's like just loaded with these polyphenols that act as these adaptogenic herbs that affect the serotonin. So that's why these mice were reproducing during the time of year that the early growth was there. So ding, 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 Dr. Don Copeland is like, wait a minute, serotonin. Humans have serotonin. Serotonin has other functions besides sexual arousal, desire, and performance. What if we used these polyphenols? And so for 1999, and so this product has been used for 13 years. It is now put into a micronized spray. It's 250,000 times more absorbable than if you ate the plants or if you like dehydrated them and put them into a powder, which is actually something that they did in the early stages of this supplement product development. So it's affordable. Real people tested, like I said, it's been used for 13 years. And the number one question that I get is, how long does it last? And each bottle lasts about a month. For some people, it lasts longer because they're not using the spray as many sprays a day. If you've got a big hurdle to jump over, you're going to be spraying more. When I started, I was doing 10 sprays. And then when I am further away from my menstrual cycle, I'm only doing 3 to 5 a day. And it's less than $2 a day. And we already kind of talked about this, that what is it? It's early growth stage monocots and water. So it's like a completely facility where there's no dust, there's no allergens, there's no allergies, there's nothing that contaminates it. So some of the results that people are getting are improved sleep, mood management, boost in immune function, boost in brain function, and improved sexual function, #obvious, right? Skin health, relaxation, and fat metabolism, and anti-aging. So if you're wondering, how do you actually use Adapt? Well, you take it every day for at least 30 days. And if you remember what I talked about with fibromyalgia is a symptom of high serotonin. And if there's 14 pathways in the body that serotonin is responsible for, if you have fibro, you have to use this product for 30 days because you have all these other symptoms in your body that have to get worked on as you are getting out of the pain relief. And there is a group of people who have been using Adapt for 6 years who are diagnosed with fibromyalgia and they have been asymptomatic, okay? It's life-changing. So what you'll do is you'll use about 10 sprays total in a day when you first get it, and then you're gonna adapt how you're using Adapt. And I do have a link to our little user group that's going to be in the slides here, but you can always join our group and then ask questions. We're happy to help. Even if you've been introduced to Adapt X1 by someone else, it's totally freaking cool. Okay. There's enough for everyone. So like I said, I was doing 5 sprays in the morning, 5 sprays at night, and your body does adapt to it. And so what I noticed is yesterday in particular, I went to bed at 10, but I didn't fall asleep until 12. Like I just was thinking about stuff and I was like, should I get up and work? Should I have some inspired action? No. So I I talked to a couple of people and did a few things online, but then I switched and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take 5 sprays and see what happens. So I took 5 sprays and I knocked out until my alarm went off. And I was like, okay, cool. So maybe what this means is my energy has shifted. My serotonin has shifted again, right? That was the first day of my period. And so I'm like, all right, well then I'm going to start taking 1 spray in the morning. And then I'm going to do 5 sprays at night and see if I will fall asleep faster. So you pay attention to how your body feels and you adapt to your body as your body adapts. So, well, like I just said, you change it, changed it when and how many based on preference. So if you don't use this consistently in the first 30 days, you're not going to get results. So you can't use it one day and then not the next day. You just have to keep playing with it, because as you play with it and you put some brain power into it to notice how you feel, notice if you're burping up less, notice if your bowel movements are better, notice how your energy is through the day. If you spray this in the afternoon and you get really tired, don't spray it in the afternoon the next day, right? So you want to play with this, because you have to remember serotonin is responsible for in your body. Be nice to your body. Let things work out. Pay attention to your stress load, your emotional stress, your financial stress, your family stress, your physical stress. You have to take all of these things in consideration with your body when you're trying this out. So how do you get started? Well, you're going to contact the person who invited you to this Zoom or shared this YouTube video with you, or how else? Shared the Facebook Live with you. Contact that person so that you can get even more questions answered. And if you're wondering how much 1 month supply is, it's $55 US if you order monthly. However, you can deactivate your monthly shipments. We have everybody enroll as a subscribing customer so that you get it for $55 instead of $70. Thank you very much. And then we just show them how to deactivate their auto ship in the event after 30 days they don't like the product. They can ship it back, no harm, no foul. So you do have a 30-day money-back guarantee. And so we really advise you to journal and pay attention to how you're feeling during the process and reach out to your support system. So we can be your support system, facebook.com/groups/adaptable. There are several of us in there right now who are just helping each other out and sharing ways that we're using Adapt as our bodies adapt and being a fantastic support system. So I want to thank you so much for watching today. And not ready to order, have questions, want to hear from real people. Oh my God, I totally forgot about these slides. So if you have questions and you're not ready to order, go to facebook.com/groups/adaptable. Obviously I have to update these slides, and I will be here on Zooms. Re-records are on YouTube, blah, 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 all those things. Tuesdays and Thursdays are the Serotonin 101. So if this was interesting to you and you want to share this with other people and you're like, hey, mom, or hey, spouse, or hey, daughter, go ahead and hook them up with this Tuesday, Thursdays, 1 p.m. Central Time, and we will see you next time.